Greetings, Guardians. This is Olympus Alliance, and there is no better way to start a new year than by talking about one of the most impactful heroes to enter Hero Wars Alliance in recent memory. Byrna. Since her release, Byrna has quietly but decisively reshaped the battlefield. She is already a constant presence in Royal and High Duke, and now that her relic is active, her influence has only grown stronger. But what truly separates Byrna from most new heroes is not raw damage, or flashy animations, it's how effortlessly she elevates the heroes around her. She doesn't demand the spotlight. She amplifies it. And that's why she can fit into so many combos. She's simply amazing. And today, we're going to break down 5 teams that extract maximum value from Byrna's kit, teams that work on offense, teams that hold on defense, and teams that scale beautifully without demanding reckless investment. Before we dive into the teams themselves, it's important to understand why Byrna is so powerful in the first place. If you're playing Hero Wars Alliance on Android, the Winter Rewards Carnival on Huawei AppGallery is a great chance to save while you play. From December 1st, 2025 to January 11th, 2026, you can earn up to 30% rewards on your in-game purchases. The system is simple. For every €1 you spend, you get 1 gem. Collect gems and redeem them for coupons, like a €3 coupon for 10 gems, or a €30 coupon for 100 gems. The more you play and spend, the more value you get back. To activate the offer, just download the game through Huawei AppGallery. Your Hero Wars progress is completely safe. Sign in with your Google or AppGallery account and continue playing instantly. Remember to check that your device region is supported. Eligible countries include Germany, France, Italy, Spain, Poland, Portugal, Switzerland, Turkey, the United Kingdom, and many others across Europe. This is a limited time event, so don't miss it. Join through AppGallery, start earning gem. Her healing always targets the ally with the lowest health, but that alone doesn't explain her dominance. The real danger comes from what happens next. She increases that hero's maximum health, effectively rewriting the durability of heroes that were never meant to survive long fights. And on top of that, she feeds bonus energy to that same target. In practice, this means Byrna doesn't just keep teams alive, she accelerates them. Glass cannons turn into late-game monsters. Fragile carries suddenly reach their ultimate one more time. And that single extra cast is often the difference between winning and losing. That's the foundation. Now let's build on it. We begin with a faction that many players had quietly written off over the past year, Nature. Mushy, Alvanna, and Mojo were once feared, then slowly pushed aside as metas evolved. Byrna changes that conversation completely. When you combine Mushy, Alvanna, Mojo, Byrna, and Somna, you create a team that scales relentlessly over time. Mushy benefits enormously from Byrna's healing and health amplification, allowing her to anchor the frontline far longer than expected. Alvanna and Mojo stack magical pressure, while Somna shuts down aggressive physical attackers, especially Kayla. This team thrives in longer engagements, and once it stabilizes, it becomes incredibly difficult to break. With double magic penetration artifacts in play, even tanky defenses start to crumble. This isn't a fast team, it's a suffocating one. From Nature, we move into Progress, and this is where Byrna's flexibility becomes impossible to ignore. Julius, Judge, Polaris, Folio, and Byrna form a lineup that feels oppressive once it gains momentum. Julius and Judge layer shields and protection, buying time and denying burst. Polaris controls the rhythm of the fight with constant stuns, preventing clean engagements. Folio delivers overwhelming magical damage, and Byrna ties everything together. What makes this team especially powerful is how naturally Byrna feeds Folio. As Folio dips low, he receives healing, bonus energy, and extra survivability, allowing him to unleash devastating bursts repeatedly. This team is strong on offense, uncomfortable to attack on defense, and surprisingly accessible for newer players looking for a stable long-term investment. Our third team shifts tone completely and leans hard into aggression. Octavia, Hus, Lara Croft, Yasmin, and Byrna form a dodge-based offensive engine that is both fast and punishing. Octavia and Yasmin generate dodge and energy at an incredible pace. Hus supports with healing and critical hit amplification. Lara Croft adds unpredictable burst damage. And Byrna ensures that Yasmin, almost always the lowest health hero, receives constant healing and energy. The result is a team that snowballs fights rapidly. Once it starts moving, it doesn't stop. On offense, it tears through slower setups. On defense, it forces attackers to respect the speed and volatility of the lineup. This team doesn't play safe, it plays to overwhelm. From raw aggression, we transition into something more deceptive. One of Byrna's most interesting synergies comes from pairing her with Satori. When you run Satori alongside Somna, Soleil, Aiden, and Byrna, you create a lineup that thrives on mistakes. Byrna keeps Satori alive long enough to stack his marks. Somna disrupts physical attackers and punishes impatience. Soleil adds control and pressure. Aiden stabilizes the team and absorbs chaos. And when the enemy finally slips, Satori detonates. This team excels against intelligence-heavy compositions and turns drawn-out fights into sudden collapses. It doesn't rush. It waits. And that brings us to the final team, one of the most important Byrna lineups in the current meta. Mushy, Tempest, Zesha, Somna, and Byrna. This team gained popularity because it counters physical damage extremely well without relying on Aiden, freeing him for use elsewhere. Tempest manipulates time, slowing enemies and accelerating allies. Zesha applies relentless magical pressure. Mushy anchors the front line. Somna disrupts carries. Byrna fuels the engine. This evolution of the old taxa concept is one of the clearest demonstrations of Byrna's value. She doesn't replace heroes, she enhances strategies. Guardians, this is why Byrna matters. She doesn't belong to one faction. She doesn't lock you into one playstyle. She strengthens almost everything she touches. Whether you're building nature, progress, dodge, or hybrid control teams, Byrna gives you sustain, tempo, and scaling that few heroes in the game can match. And that's the real takeaway. Byrna isn't just strong, she's adaptable. And adaptability wins wars. Now it's your turn. Which Byrna teams are you running? Have you discovered a combination that surprised you? Share it in the comments. Your ideas always help guide what we test next. Stay tuned, stay sharp, and as always, salute and friendship.